It's exciting Indiana High School basketball on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com. Tonight's ball game is driven by Greg Hubler Ford and built by Universal Roofing and brought to you by Peterman Brothers Heating and Air Conditioning, by Werner Financial, Genesis Sports Performance, and by the Mower Shop. Indiana High School basketball on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com.
Universal Roofing and Exteriors is a family-owned and operated business, providing care and honest service for over 30 years. Universal has always been a little bit different. Their certified and trained employees don't just provide excellent work at a fair low price. They care about their customers, simply providing great customer service. Quality, honesty, dependability. That's Universal Roofing and Exteriors. Call us today at 317-257-0779.
All stocked up for another year?
Ho, ho, yes. I'm also hoping for some advice.
Anything for you, Santa.
Any ideas for those who made it on my new extra nice list this year?
How about up to $5,000 Christmas cash with a qualifying heating and cooling system?
Or 0% interest for 36 months?
Both amazing values. Visit PetermanHVAC.com to claim your Christmas cash.
Hi, I'm Jason Warner.
And I'm Christy Calderon.
At Werner Financial, our vision is to redefine what it means to partner with a financial institution.
We bring together expertise and dedication with a relentless focus on your financial success.
Our drive is to create a strategy that aligns your unique goals by crafting tailored financial solutions to guide you through life's milestones.
Together, we'll navigate the complexities and turn financial challenges into opportunities.
Reach out today for a no-cost consultation and experience the difference of partnering with Werner Financial.
Every day is a great day to buy a vehicle at Greg Hubler Ford.
Because every vehicle comes with our Greg Hubler promise. On top of scheduled maintenance with your vehicle, you'll also enjoy complimentary roadside assistance, service pickup, and drop-off. And a free car wash and quick wash every time you service at Greg Hubler Ford.
We're always finding new ways to put our guests first.
Mosey on into Muncie.
Greg Hubler Ford, promise kept.
Welcome inside of Frankton High School, as we got a good matchup on the docket for you this evening. It's the Frankton Eagles hosting the Monroe Central Golden Bears on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com, driven by Greg Hubler Ford. Colin Eccles and Daniel Miller on the call for this evening. Daniel, second time we're at Frankton High School this week. We were there earlier this week on Tuesday when the Eagles faced off against the Wapahani Raiders. Wapahani came away with a big victory in that one. Final score 50-25, showing why they are the number one team in the 2A class for the Muncie area and for Indiana. Now, coming into this one, Frankton 5-3 on the year, looking to bounce back against a Monroe Central team who's on a 2-game skid, gotten themselves back to 500 on the year. Should be a pretty competitive matchup that we have coming up here in just a few moments.
It will be, and Monroe Central, they're 4-1 in their last 5 after losing 3 straight to open the year. Kind of the opposite of Frankton, who started with 3 wins, and since then they're just 2-3. As you mentioned, most recently that loss against Wapahani, one of the best teams in the state, ranked number 1 in the state in 2A, and they're undefeated and they've been good for a long time. So nothing to hang their hats on for Frankton. Look to rebound today against a tough Monroe Central team.
Monroe Central, scrappy as they may be, is going to be up against a tough offense for the Frankton Eagles. Several players averaging in double digits or close to. Joey Wright with 12.3 points per game on the season. And then you got Nate Moore at 13 and just under that 10-point per game mark is Brady Carmack. He's got 9 on the year so far. Those 3 did struggle, however, though, against Wapahani. Shots not going their way. Second, third, fourth chance offensive opportunities not being able to be converted on as well really is what held Frankton back. The biggest thing, though, I saw on offense, though, not a ton of ball movement, not a ton of interior penetration, which is where this Eagles team tends to thrive down the stretch, especially when they've come away with some of their bigger victories.
That's true, and in those bigger victories, such as Oak Hill, a 3A team, conference opponent who they beat earlier this year, I mean, that's been a big part of it. They've just been huge on the inside, getting the glass, getting those second chance opportunities, even more than that third and fourth, as you said.
watching these two teams warm up. Heights and widths pretty similar across the floor for both these two teams. Should be a pretty even matchup in terms of the physical aspect of it. But when you look at the two teams and what you've seen in the warm-ups, kind of the shoot-around, the energy from both teams, obviously a high-energy environment that we're in this evening as well. The pep band is here, which wasn't here earlier this week. That adds a new element for the Eagles as well. Pretty packed house in terms of the fans for Frankton who come out and support very well night after night. In terms of the energy, the intensity that you saw from these two teams, who do you think kind of automatically has the edge at the beginning of this one? And who do you think is going to have to work a little bit harder to come out on top?
As we saw in the first game, Frankton won the JV game, and they kind of took that energy and put it into that pregame warm-up, I thought. Monroe Central came out, looked a little flat in the warm-up after losing that game. We're coming on a little bit late here as that first game, the JV game, went into overtime. But coming off the overtime loss with the JV game, Monroe Central looked out and looked a little soft, but they should have plenty of time to come back and get ready in time for this game.
I think personally this is one of the most fun and exciting arenas that we are in up here in the Muncie area. I think the only one so far that rivals this is Alexandria's. Alexandria's got a cool one. It's the Jungle. We talked about that. You were on a broadcast with me there. But in terms of this being one of the cooler environments to get to play in up here for a school as small as Frankton is, to have a cool environment. Being a player in your personal experience in the past, what does that add into your game in terms of, a good fan base, crazy environment, and a team that's known to be competitive from start to finish?
Oh, it adds a whole lot. We got the pep band here, as you mentioned, out on the floor right now, getting ready for the game. I mean, home atmosphere is everything. My splits, if you look back at them from high school, my home splits were way better than my road splits. So it's a huge atmosphere playing in front of this home crowd. It's a red team. We got the Christmas out in the stands tonight. We got some after prom giveaways going on during the game. We got all sorts of stuff going on up here in this amazing Frankton High School environment.
Speaking of road stints, when you look at the Monroe Central schedule, they are on a very tough section of their schedule this season. So from December 16th all the way up until January 12th, they have 8 games in a row that are either on the road or at a neutral site. They will not play on their own home gym until after January 12th, which for a lot of teams can be an even bigger hurdle to hop over in terms of getting yourself on the winning track, especially when you close down to county tournament time, postseason sectional time as well. How important is it for them to get a big win here this evening on the road, keep the win streak alive, get above 500, especially going into that 7 or 8 game stint on the road or at a neutral site?
It's so important, but as you mentioned, even though they've already started that road stint, they've already got they're 2-0 starting off in that road stint. They've already got wins at South Adams and at Hagerstown in this road stint. This is just another one that they'll have to overcome, but they've done it before. These road stints, I mean, they're tough, but they've been able to overcome them so far.
Keys to the game for this evening. When you look at Monroe Central, 500, 2 wins in a row, both on the road. You got your third road game in a row. What are going to be the keys for the Golden Bears tonight if they want to come out ahead of Frankton?
I mean, just what a coach would normally say. You got to rebound, got to defend the glass. You got to be tough on defense. You got to out-rebound the opponent, get points in the paint. You mentioned how these teams are similar in both width and height. You got to box out, get those boards.
For Frankton, I'll ask you the same question. Keys to the game for the Eagles to bounce back after that loss earlier this week to Wapahani.
I think it's just putting that game against Wapahani behind them and moving forward, because that's a tough team. Not many teams have beat them. I mean, no one has yet this year, so they can't really be that upset about that. Just putting that back in the rear view, keeping a look forward mindset, and getting Nate Moore and Joey Wright both going. They're both averaging over 12 a game.
45 seconds till we hit the national anthem, so we'll take a quick break and be back with your starting lineups for both sides, powered by Werner Financial. In the meantime, make sure you follow us on X, INDHS Sports for highlight reel clips and post-game interviews from across the Indianapolis and Muncie regions, and head to our website, IndianaHighSchoolSports.com. On the right side of your screen, you'll see a QR code. Scan that. You can sign up for live text updates. It's when your favorite teams across the state score, so you don't miss a beat if you can't be at the game. 12 seconds till the national anthem, 1 minute, and we're back for the starting lineups powered by Werner Financial on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com.
Looking for training that makes a difference? Then Genesis Sports Performance is for you. Whether you're a grade school, high school, or college athlete, or just looking to get back into shape, Genesis has customized programs providing rapid gains in strength and conditioning, speed and agility. Genesis features a 7,000 square foot facility with state-of-the-art weight room and huge turf surface. Call Genesis at 386-7459 or visit them at genesissportsperformance.com. The Mower Shop in Fishers is the one-stop shop for all of your lawn maintenance needs. We have a huge selection of Honda and Toro lawnmowers in stock and even more to choose from online. Plus, we carry parts and accessories with super fast shipping. Just need maintenance or repairs? We offer that too, and we'll even deliver. The Mower Shop, family owned for more than 20 years. Visit our showroom just west of State Road 37 in Fishers or shop online at themowershop.com.
Hi, I'm Jason Warner of Warner Financial. When it comes to your 401k, you deserve a partner who values your retirement dreams as much as you do. We believe that your 401k is more than just an account. It's a strategy tailored to fit your unique circumstances. Our approach isn't just about numbers. It's about understanding you. Whether you're just starting your career or counting down the days until approaching retirement, we're here to ensure your 401k aligns perfectly with your future. Ready to make your 401k work for you? Contact us today for a personalized consultation.
And there is the tail end of the national anthem performed by the Frankton High School Pep Band on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com. This broadcast is always driven by Greg Hubler Ford. And now it is time that we get into your starting lineups for both sides. Powered by Warner Financial. Colin Eccles, Daniel Miller on the call. Daniel, I'll go ahead and let you take it away with the visiting Monroe Central Golden Bears, coached by head coach Jim Melton.
To start off for the Golden Bears, we have Justice Olam. He's wears number 2, small forward, standing at 5'10", should make an impact as a junior. Number 11, Hayden Taylor, a senior-driven team. He's their point guard. He's 5'11". Easton Foster, their center, standing at 6'5", looks very good in the warm-ups. Number 24, Carter Duncan, he stands 6'1", a small forward. Josiah Cleveland, number 30, 6'1", wraps up the starting lineups for the Bears.
And here comes on your screen, you can see, I think, one of the most exciting introductions that we have up here in the Muncie area as well. Dim the lights, the spotlight comes out. It's time to get into the starting lineup for the hometown Frankton Eagles. They're 5-3 coming into the evening, coached by head coach Brent Brobston. It's going to be a similar starting lineup to what you saw Tuesday night. Number 2 is the junior Joey Wright, the guard, standing at 6'1". At 6'3", he's a small forward junior. Number 11, Brady Carmack. 6'2", the small forward, the senior, number 14, Austin Bubba Nunley. The shooting guard, 6'2", the sophomore, number 21, Ethan Stansberry. And last but not least, rounding things out, the senior, he wears number 23. He's a shooting guard, 6'2", Nate Moore. Nate Moore and Joey Wright, the leading scorers for this squad, averaging 13 and 12.3 points per game, respectively. They also both average 2.9 rebounds. Joey Wright averages 5 assists per game as well, which is the highest on the team. If Joey Wright can get himself going this evening and stay competitive from that opening buzzer until the final buzzer sounds, that is going to be a big key for this Frankton team to stay in it. He was off his game a little bit Tuesday night against Wapahani, which I think put the Eagles behind just a little bit. But tonight, if he can come out and make a big impact early, I think it's going to set the Eagles up in a great position to come out with another win over the Golden Bears.
I would agree with that, and he averages 12.3. As you said, he contributes a lot of their points with those 12 points and 5 assists. He gets everybody else involved. He's where the offense starts. He's the point guard for this team. Despite him having a rough game earlier this week against Wapahani, as you noted, he still was their leading scorer. He had 8 in that game. Second place was Brady Carmack. Should have another big one. He had 5 as well as Nate Moore.
This time last year when these two teams faced off, it was an overtime matchup, which went in the way of Frankton. Final score of that one, 57-51. So obviously these two teams have some history of being very evenly matched and paired up very well down on the hardwood. which not a lot of people would assume. JV games are very indicative and very predictive of what a varsity matchup might be like. These two teams very competitive at the JV level tonight. Went into overtime, went in the way of Frankton. We'll see what happens here in just a couple of moments. We're set from tip-off. Both teams taking the floor. Jumping for the Golden Bears in the center circle will be number 23, Easton Foster. And jumping for the Eagles as they get ready to take the floor. We'll see who they run out to the middle. Presumably will be Stansbury or Carmack in the center. And they will run Nunley out to the center to tip off for the Frankton Eagles. So those were your starting lineups powered by Werner Financial. Get the scoreboard up on the screen for you all. Referees, get everybody set. Here comes the first whistle inside of Frankton High School. Ball's in the air, and it is Eagle basketball right. Will control the offense for Frankton. To the top of the key, shading to the left side, goes left corner open. Three for Stansbury, and Stansbury opens things up with a bang. 3-0. Frankton leads, 7:42 left in the first quarter.
An early start for Frankton. That's going to be huge for them. Got the pressure going, start as well on defense.
And some nice full court press going on for the Eagles as well. Forces a turnover, and Monroe Central slow off the start of the gun.
I mentioned it in the pregame. Monroe Central looked like they came out a little flat in their warm-up after losing that JV game in OT. It's bled into the start of this game.
Right across half court, sets up on the left wing, goes back to that left corner to Stansbury. Back up top to Wright. Over to the right side wing again, Stansbury gets a screen from Nunley, nowhere to go on the drive. Back to the top of the key to Moore to reset. To the left side wing, Carmack. On the drive to the paint, spin move goes up with the left, too strong off the window. Offensive board for Wright. Goes out right side wing to Stansbury. His shot off the mark. And the board pulled down by Josiah Cleveland.
We talked at the open about those second chance opportunities for the Eagles. Had one there, couldn't convert though.
Ullum at the top of the key for the Golden Bears. Hands the ball off to Foster. Off the end around and a nice dish down to the right block to Duncan. Duncan's shot no good, too far underneath the glass. And Stansbury nearly loses control, bringing it up the floor. Still a 3-0 score, 6 minutes, 20 seconds remaining in quarter number one. Wright with offensive control, shaded to his right side for Frankton. Wright still with not a ton of offensive movement, now finds Nunley at the top of the key. Over the right side wing, back to Wright. Passes up the look to Nunley, goes up top to Stansbury for three. It rattles in and out. Stansbury 1 for 3 on three-point attempts early in the contest. Top of the key for the Golden Bears, it's Taylor. Over to the right side wing to Ullum. Ullum directing traffic, goes to the left side wing, Foster. Foster on the drive, nowhere to go. Back up top, Duncan. Duncan backed out to the logo, pestered by Carmack on the defensive end, and we have a timeout called by head coach Jim Melton. It's a 30-second timeout. We'll go ahead and run a quick 30-second of our own to hear from one of our sponsors. Back after this on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com.
Universal Roofing and Exteriors is a family-owned and operated business, providing care and honest service for over 30 years. Universal has always been a little bit different. Their certified and trained employees don't just provide excellent work at a fair low price. They care about their customers, simply providing great customer service. Quality, honesty, dependability. That's Universal Roofing and Exteriors. Call us today at 317-257-0779.
We're back live inside of Frankton High School on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com. This broadcast driven by Greg Hubler Ford. Colin Eccles and Daniel Miller on the call. It is a 3-0 lead for the Frankton Eagles over the Monroe Central Golden Bears. We'll get back into the action. Bringing the ball up the floor is Hayden Taylor for Monroe Central. He'll go to the right side to Ullum to start. Back to Taylor in the right corner. Taylor trying to feed down low, and that pass intercepted by Carmack. Bringing up the floor, Joey Wright. Wright streaking ahead. He'll be fouled. Officials say on the shot, so he'll go to the line to shoot two. Foul goes against Josiah Cleveland, his first, and the first against the Golden Bears in this quarter.
It looked like Brady Carmack on that steal may have had his foot out of bounds. No call, though, and the Eagles will take that as they head to the line to shoot two.
First shot on the way for Joey Wright will go through. 4-0 the lead now for Frankton. Almost 3 minutes elapsed in the first quarter, 5:14 remaining on the game clock, and it is a 1-for-2 trip after an unlucky hop from the rim. Ullum will bring it across half court for Monroe Central. He'll start out shaded to his right and come back to the left side to Taylor. Back up top to Foster. Passes up the shot, right wing Ullum. Ullum off the drive, stops, gets his defender in the air, and will score the floater through some traffic. 4-2. Monroe Central cuts the lead in half for Frankton.
Something I noticed early in this game, Monroe Central has set a few screens that the ball handlers just haven't been able to use. Something to take note of as we progress further in this game.
Wright driving baseline on the right side, tries to dish to the left to Carmack. Instead, it's taken away by Foster. He'll get it across half court to Taylor, set up on the left side. Taylor moves back out to the logo. Now goes right side wing to Duncan. Back up top, Cleveland. Cleveland pulls a three, just short off the front iron. Offensive board nearly picked up by Luke Russell, who's just checked into the contest. It's out of play, and the possession arrow favors Frankton.
Beautiful off-the-ball screen set there by Hayden Taylor for Josiah Cleveland, but he was unable to hit from a long distance.
Halfway through the first quarter, it's only a 4-2 lead for the Frankton Eagles over Monroe Central. On the right side wing to start the offense, it's Nate Moore. Skip pass back to Joey Wright. Wright shifting back to the top of the arc, guarded by Josiah Cleveland. Shaded now to the left side, goes down to the left side corner to Stansbury. Stansbury back up top to Moore. Moore towards the right side to Carmack. Carmack no movement, hands the ball back off to Moore off rotation. Moore drives baseline, tries to find Stansbury in the left corner, but the pass is deflected. Out of play, good defense from the Golden Bears.
Frankton dominating the time of possession here early. They are taking their time, finding their shots. Not hitting them as much as they have in the past, but they're really searching it out what they want.
Nunley takes the ball out of play and will find Stansbury on the left wing to start the offensive drive. Back to the top of the key to Wright. Shade to the right side wing. Wright finds Nunley on a little bit of a off-balance alley-oop layup. Make it 6-2 in favor of Frankton. 3 minutes remaining in the first quarter.
Really good effort there by Austin Nunley, able to get that ball and throw it up.
And a nice steal on the other end by Nunley. Fast break opportunity for the Eagles, squandered, and ball is out of play, as it was Nate Moore who couldn't handle the behind-the-back pass on that fast break opportunity.
Senior leader Austin Nunley making big impacts for the Eagles team early.
He didn't have a big game against Wapahani earlier this week. Good to see him come out with a little bit of fire underneath him to start this one. From the left block, going up through contact, is Hayden Taylor. He won't get the shot, but he'll have two free ones at the charity stripe after the foul on Nunley. That is his first, and the first against Frankton in the quarter. And we're over 5 minutes through. Just two total fouls on the board between these two squads.
It's a very fast-paced game we've seen so far between these two teams. Both teams really pushing it up the floor. Frankton slowed it down a little bit more, but Monroe Central specifically really pushing the pace here, getting some points, getting some fast break action here early.
Substitutions being made for Frankton. Reed Bott and Javon Miller into the contest to take the spot of Nunley and Stansbury. 1-for-2 trip at the line for Taylor. Joey Wright will bring it up the other way. 6-3 is the lead for the Eagles.
So both teams struggling with free throws early. You only had 2 out of the 4 made. Both teams had a 1-for-2 trip.
Bott at the top of the arc for the Eagles, directing traffic. Shades to his right side, goes back up top to Miller. Miller back to the right side. Bott, wide open three, and he uses the window. Yes, the bank is open this Friday night. It's a 6-point lead for the Eagles. 2 minutes, 15 seconds left on the first quarter game clock.
As we approach Christmas time, most of the banks are closing down.
From the left block, fighting through traffic and scoring the 2-point bucket, Josiah Cleveland. Quickly the other way was right. Loose ball is going to be sent into the backcourt and picked up by Javon Miller. We've got one official saying it was tipped into the backcourt, the other one saying over and back. And it will be a tipped pass call, so the possession arrow stays with Frankton under 2 minutes to go in the first. They lead 9-5 over the Golden Bears.
Wright will slow it down again. Slower pace for the Eagles.
Shaded to his left side, not a lot of options. Moves back to the top of the key to set the offense. To the right side wing, Bott. Bott moving back up top, picks up his dribble, has to hand the ball off to Moore. Moore shaded back to the left side, goes up top to Carmack. Carmack pulls straight ahead, three, just short off the front of the rim. And a loose ball is corralled by Ullum. Now Cleveland brings it up the floor.
Eagles testing their distance after that one. Got one to bank it in, and they decided to pull one from deep. Oh, an NBA three.
Hayden Taylor on the right side for Monroe Central. Goes back up top to Ullum. Pump fakes the three. Hands the ball off to Foster. Foster goes to the right side again to Taylor. Nearly stolen. Back up top to Foster. Under 1 minute to go in the first. Foster dumps it down to the left block to Duncan, and we've got a foul called on the floor against Frankton. We'll see who officials charge it to. It's going to be against against Reed Bott. It'll be his first and the second on Frankton in the quarter. Nunley and Stansbury back into the contest for the Eagles. Also in is Max Barr. Taking a seat will be Carmack, Moore, and Bott.
Nunley and Stansbury coming back brings up 5 of their 9 points they've scored so far.
Off the inbound on the left side, it's Cleveland. Cleveland ripped down in the paint by Joey Wright. Loose ball, and we got a 30-second timeout called by head coach Brent Brobston of the Eagles. We'll take another 30-second and be back to finish up the first quarter. 9-5 the lead for Frankton on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com.
Oh, thank you.
All stocked up for another year?
Ho, ho, yes. I'm also hoping for some advice.
Anything for you, Santa.
Any ideas for those who made it on my new extra nice list this year?
How about up to $5,000 Christmas cash with a qualifying heating and cooling system?
Or 0% interest for 36 months?
Both amazing values. Visit petermanhvac.com to claim your Christmas cash.
Back inside Frankton High School. It's a 9-5 lead for the Eagles over the Monroe Central Golden Bears on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com, driven by Greg Hubler Ford. Colin Eccles and Daniel Miller on the call this evening. 45.7 seconds left on the first quarter game clock. Like I said, a 9-5 lead for Frankton. On the floor for the Eagles is Nunley, Wright, Miller, Barr, and Stansbury. Wright will walk it up the floor for the Eagles and start out shaded to his left. A little double team up top, finds Miller on the left side, and Miller's turnaround jumper goes through. 11-5, still 30 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
Has yet to score and dump 2 baskets yet in this game, but Miller scoring his second bucket of the game there.
Three-point attempt from the right side, no good for Josiah Cleveland. Wright quickly back up the floor for the Eagles. 10 seconds on the game clock, likely to be just one shot for Frankton before the horn sounds to end the first. Wright, shaded to his right side, finds Barr. Back up top right, pulls it at the buzzer, and he's just off the mark. But it's 11-5. Eagles in command after the first quarter. 1 minute, and we're back to start the second right after this on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com.
Every day is a great day to buy a vehicle at Greg Hubler Ford.
Because every vehicle comes with our Greg Hubler promise. On top of scheduled maintenance with your vehicle, you'll also enjoy complimentary roadside assistance, service pickup, and drop-off. And a free car wash and quick wash every time you service at Greg Hubler Ford.
We're always finding new ways to put our guests first.
Mosey on into Muncie.
Greg Hubler Ford, promise kept.
Hello, I am Jason Warner, President and founder of Warner Financial. At Warner Financial, we understand that your financial journey is as unique as you are. That's why we offer a comprehensive suite of investment options, from custodial accounts for your children, individual retirement plans for business owners, to exploring the details of a 401k. Our team is dedicated to guiding you through every potential strategy. We want to be the partner who helps you navigate a world of possibilities. If you're ready to embark on your investment journey, contact us today, and let's get started.
Start of the second quarter, the Frankton Eagles command the Monroe Central Golden Bears on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com. This broadcast driven by Greg Hubler Ford. Colin Eccles and Daniel Miller on the call. 11-5 is the score. Frankton out to a hot start. Monroe Central, on the other hand, Daniel, a little bit slow to start this contest. It'll be Golden Bears basketball at the beginning of the second.
I mentioned it at the end of the first quarter, really balanced scoring for both teams. Only one player had 2 buckets in the first half. That was Javon Miller. He has 5 points so far. Their leading contributor off the bench, and he's their leading contributor as a whole today for the Frankton Eagles.
And a quick turnover for Monroe Central. It'll be Frankton basketball. Wright, Stansbury, Nunley, Carmack, and Moore on the floor. The original starting 5 for the Eagles. On the right side, it's Stansbury. Stansbury moving back up top through some traffic, goes to the left side to Moore. Moore back up top. Trapped at the top of the key, and a travel called. Officials say Moore dragged the foot. Possession arrow back to Monroe Central. The 5 on the floor for the Golden Bears is Taylor, Foster, Duncan, Cleveland. And last but not least on the floor for them is Russell. 30-second timeout. We'll take another quick break. More coming up next on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com.
Universal Roofing and Exteriors is a family-owned and operated business, providing care and honest service for over 30 years. Universal has always been a little bit different. Their certified and trained employees don't just provide excellent work at a fair low price. They care about their customers, simply providing great customer service. Quality, honesty, dependability. That's Universal Roofing and Exteriors. Call us today at 317-257-0779.
A timeout called just 30 seconds into the second quarter between the Frankton Eagles and the Monroe Central Golden Bears on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com. Colin Eccles, Daniel Miller joining you from inside of Frankton High School. We'll get right back into the action. 11-5 the lead for the Frankton Eagles. Good defense again by Bubba Nunley to knock the pass out of bounds and slow the offense down for Monroe Central.
The Eagles have had some really good deflections here. Monroe Central liking to push the pace earlier in that first quarter, but they've got a couple of deflections early here in the second, slowing them down.
Left elbow, losing control of the basketball is Foster. He'll find Duncan on the left side. Duncan can't score it. Carmack pulls down the board, and he will pass ahead to Stansbury on the right side. Now back up top to Nunley. Back over Stansbury, right side. 3 ball on the way. Count the bucket to make it 14-5. And a foul called on the floor against Monroe Central's Easton Foster. That'll be his first, and the first on the Bears in the quarter. So the basket counts for Stansbury, and the Eagles get to keep the possession.
What a play for the Eagles. Now they got a chance at more than 3.
And it will not go in the Eagles' favor as Duncan comes up with a steal off the inbound. Starting on the left side is Taylor for the Golden Bears. He'll go down to the charity stripe to Duncan. Duncan driving left, kicks out left corner to Cleveland. Cleveland on the drive baseline. Can't get the shot to go. Loose ball. Picked up again by the Golden Bears. And a scramble for it will lead to a jump ball. Possession arrow back to Frankton. Substitutions being made for Monroe Central. Luke Russell and Justice Olam back into the contest to take the place of Brylan Case and Carter Duncan.
Some action after that last possession there ended, but it looks like the referees call it all good. Fair play in Frankton High School.
Stansbury on the left side wing. Goes down to the left corner to Nunley. Skip pass back to the top to Wright. 2 minutes elapsed in the second quarter. 14-5 still the score. Frankton leads Monroe Central. Wright with a 3-ball on the way from the left side, well off the mark. It'll be Foster to bring it up the floor for the Golden Bears. Starting out on the right side is Taylor. We'll go back up top to Foster. Foster gets a screen from Taylor, now drives right side, tries to throw it down. He'll be fouled on the shot and go to the line for 2.
Really tough foul, but really aggressive play there from Foster. To drive that ball to the hoop, and he gets rewarded for it, going to the line to shoot 2.
Carmack credited with the foul, his first and the first on the team. Foster's first shot at the line will rattle home. 14-6 the score now. I think if you're Carmack, that's a foul you're okay picking up, not letting Foster set a little bit of tone in the second quarter. He was ready to tomahawk jam that off the drive.
Big crowd here on hand at Frankton. You don't want him to get quiet. Keep him up, keep him ready. Keep him ready to go. Get those Christmas sweaters in action.
2-for-2 trip for Foster cuts the lead in half. 14-7, Frankton still in front. Stansbury at the top of the key for the Eagles, goes right side wing to Moore. Moore working against Olam, goes back up top to Wright, now back to the left side to Stansbury. Stansbury, top of the key, Carmack. He was looking for Moore, and now we'll find Moore back at the logo. Shaded to the left side is Moore, back up top to Carmack, passes up the 3. Back to the right side to Moore. Good ball movement, but better defense by the Golden Bears. 3-ball, far side for Stansbury is in and out, no good. Loose ball is taken out of bounds. It's going to be Frankton basketball. Officials say it was last touched by Easton Foster for Monroe Central.
Really good shot there by Ethan Stansbury. He's made 2 threes already.
And Nunley with another alley-oop layup. His second of the contest makes it 16-7, back to a 9-point lead for Frankton. And a timeout called by head coach Jim Melton of Monroe Central. It'll be a it'll be a 30-second timeout, so we'll take another 30-second of our own. More coming up after this. 16-7 the lead for Frankton on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com.
The Mower Shop in Fishers is the one-stop shop for all of your lawn maintenance needs. We have a huge selection of Honda and Toro lawnmowers in stock and even more to choose from online. Plus, we carry parts and accessories with super fast shipping. Just need maintenance or repairs? We offer that too, and we'll even deliver. The Mower Shop, family owned for more than 20 years. Visit our showroom just west of State Road 37 in Fishers or shop online at themowershop.com.
Just under halfway through the second quarter of the Frankton Eagles and the Monroe Central Golden Bears on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com. Broadcast is always driven by Greg Hubler Ford. Colin Nichols joined by Daniel Miller inside of Frankton High School. It's a 16-7 lead for the Eagles. Monroe Central with the possession arrow.
Really good time out there by the Bears, getting them settled down, getting them back into the game. They needed that timeout, get them in a different mojo after suffering that this early deficit.
Foster can't knock down the go-ahead 3, and a loose ball is going to be taken by Carmack. Carmack up the right side, stripped from behind by Luke Russell, who's come into the contest after that timeout. Ball out of bounds will stay with Frankton.
Luke Russell, I saw Coach Moulton of the Monroe Central team get into him as that timeout started. He was very frustrated with him, I think, on that inbound entering the break when Nunley got that alley-oop lay-in.
3-point bucket from the right side wing is good for Hayden Taylor, makes it 16-10. Just halfway through the second quarter, and on the other end from the right side, it's Brady Carmack scoring 2. Lead back to 8 for Frankton.
Monroe Central finally got something to go, and then an immediate answer from the Eagles.
Ullum on the right side wing, goes down lower in the paint on the right, and will get the ball back in the right corner. Ullum, struggling, trapped by Moore, throws it off of Moore's foot, And the substitution, Carter Duncan will come back in and take the place of Luke Russell for Monroe Central. Javon Miller comes in to take the place of Nunley for Frankton. Taylor takes the ball out for the Golden Bears, finds Cleveland on the right side. Cleveland will go down low to Foster. Foster moves both feet. It's a travel and another turnover for the Golden Bears. 3:37 left before halftime. It's an 18-10 lead for Frankton.
Hopefully that timeout helped out the Bears. Still down 8, almost getting doubled up here midway through the second quarter.
Top of the key for the Eagles, it's Carmack. Hands the ball off to Stansberry. Skip past the left side wing to Moore. Moore back up top, passes off to Wright. Ball tipped away, and Wright is now back at the logo. To the left side again to Stansberry. And we've got an offensive foul against the Eagles. It goes against Javon Miller. That'll be the second on Frankton in the quarter, the first on Miller this evening. Very low foul count game so far as well from both sides.
Which is good to see. We expected a physical game, and it's been physical, but the referees, I like it, played off the whistle a little bit here in this game.
Foster having trouble getting it across half court, finally does so, and tries to go over to the right side to Taylor. That ball swatted away by Brady Carmack on another defensive effort. Frankton playing some hard-nosed defense tonight against Monroe Central, and playing it clean so far too. Like we said, low foul count. Left side wing for the Golden Bears, it's Cleveland. He'll go back up top to Foster. Foster off a left-handed drive, back to the top to Hayden Taylor, and Hayden Taylor cuts the lead to 5 for Frankton. Other end, Wright pulls a quick 3, it's no good. Olam pulls down a board. 2.5 minutes remaining on the clock before halftime. Monroe Central trying to close the gap a little bit. Feed back to the right side to Duncan, and Duncan will be fouled and head to the charity stripe for another 2 free throws.
Couple of quick plays by Hayden Taylor, couple quick threes, and now Carter Duncan will get for his first points of the game here. Try to close this lead. They can make it a one-possession game if he makes both.
Third foul against Frankton, first against Joey Wright this evening. First shot at the line, no good for Carter Duncan, keeps the deficit at 5. 2 subs being made for Frankton. It's Reed Bott and Colton Amell into the contest to take the place of Joey Wright and Brady Carmack.
Some free throw struggles from the Eagles so far today. They're just 3 of 5 after that first miss.
And it's a 1-for-2 trip. It cuts the lead down to 4. 18-14 the score. Top of the key, it's Miller now over to the left side wing, Moore. Moore goes all the way across the court to the right corner to Bott. Bott moving back towards the top of the arc. Gets the ball back from Stansberry. Bott off a right-handed drive. Steps back beyond the three-point line, pulls it, it's no good off the glass. Board pulled down by Cleveland. Cleveland down to the left corner to Taylor, and we've got another foul.
We talked about a clean game, but a couple of quick ones for the Eagles on these last pair of trips.
Colton Amell charged with the foul, his first, 4th on the Eagles, just 1 away from putting Monroe Central in the the 2-shot bonus for the remainder, and that will put them in the 2-shot bonus as Amell picks up another. So that's the 2nd and the 5th on Frankton, which will send Eason Foster to the line to shoot 2. Under 2 minutes to go in the half. 18-14 is the lead for Frankton. And Foster too strong on his first shot. Best he can get is a 1-for-2.
Now 4 for 7 as a team in Monroe Central from the line. They're getting some opportunities now from the line. They just can't convert.
Second shot on the way for Foster. It is a 1-for-2 trip. Makes it a 1-possession ball game. 18-15 the score. Frankton in front by 3. Under 2 minutes to go, and Joey Wright back into the game.
An interesting note on Foster, he's made all 3 of his points so far today from the line.
Right side wing, it's Stansberry. Goes to the left elbow to Amell. Amell's pass taken away by Foster. Foster on the drive the other way, goes up with the left, shot no good. 3-on-2 break going the other way for Frankton. Nice dish from Joey Wright to Javon Miller. makes it 20-15. Lead back to 5 for the Eagles with 1:25 left in the first half.
What a beautiful no-look pass. And now we get to steal. Joey Wright doing all the little things in this game.
Fast break. Moore scores it from the right side. 22-15. Big run for Frankton late in the first half. 1:10 remaining before halftime.
They did it earlier. Now they're doing it again. Just as Monroe Central got a little scent of life, the Eagles back with a couple of good ones of their own.
Three-pointer is no good off the fingertips of Hayden Taylor, but Javon Miller picks up a foul and will send Taylor to the line to shoot 3.
That's Miller's second foul of the game. He's their leading scorer. They'll put him on the bench for, we assume, the remainder of this first half.
Nunley and Carmack ready to check in for Frankton as the first shot from the line is good for Taylor. Brylan Case also ready to check in for Monroe Central after this second shot. Second shot is good from the stripe for Hayden Taylor. The deficit is back to 5 for the Golden Bears. I said Nunley and Carmack in to take Amell and Miller out, and it's a 3-for-3 trip, and a big 3-for-3 trip at that for Hayden Taylor. Wright streaks up the floor, tries to find Carmack on the right block. Pass taken away. Foster will take it up the floor. He's fouled and will go to the line for 2.
Foster with another opportunity to earn some points from the line. Hayden Taylor now in double figures in this first half for the Bears.
Bubba Nunley charged with the foul, his second. And Javon Miller at the scorer's table ready to check back in for Nunley. 22-18 the current score with under a minute to go in the half. First shot at the line for Foster.
Fouls weren't an issue early, but now Javon Miller coming in to play this last 52 seconds, already having 2 fouls. He's to avoid picking up a third one here at the end of this first half.
Olam will take a seat. In for him is Josiah Cleveland for Monroe Central. Second shot at the line for Foster is good. That's 5 in a row from the stripe for the Golden Bears. 50 seconds on the clock. It's a 2-point game.
All those Delaware County schools, it gets confused at sometimes. Cross-county rivalry here today.
The right elbow now backing out to the logo is Stansberry. Stansberry finds Wright on the left side wing. Pump fakes to get his man in the air and loses control. Fast break coming up for Monroe Central. And another foul against Frankton. This time it's Ethan Stansberry, and he will again send Foster to the line. 30 seconds on the game clock. 2-point game. Foster's got an opportunity to tie it at the stripe.
And you would not have thought that Frankton's had a big run going there to counter Monroe Central's run, but now Monroe Central on another one of their own. It's really a game of runs here in the second quarter.
Foster can't hit the first. Olam back in for Josiah Cleveland from Monroe Central. Second shot on the way for Foster. A 1-for-2 trip, 22-21. Wright bringing it up the floor for the Eagles. Skip pass to the left side wing to Moore. Moore back up top. Stansberry, 3-ball on the way. No good. Foster comes down with a board. Foster slows the offense. It'll be Olam on the left side wing to start things out. Back to the top of the key to Foster. Less than 10 on the game clock. Golden Bears down by 1. Right side wing, Foster. Up top, Taylor. His 3-point shot blocked. And at the buzzer, shot is no good. Brylan Case just a 1/10 of a second away from getting that off in time. Headed into the halftime. 22-21 is the score. Frankton leads Monroe Central. 2 minutes, and then we're back for a little halftime stat recap and more. Coming up next on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com, driven by Greg Hubler Ford.
Oh, thank you.
All stocked up for another year?
Ho, ho, yes. I'm also hoping for some advice.
Anything for you, Santa.
Any ideas for those who made it on my new extra nice list this year?
How about up to $5,000 Christmas cash with a qualifying heating and cooling system?
Or 0% interest for 36 months?
Both amazing values. Visit petermanhvac.com to claim your Christmas cash.
Every day is a great day to buy a vehicle at Greg Hubler Ford.
Because every vehicle comes with our Greg Hubler promise. On top of scheduled maintenance with your vehicle, you'll also enjoy complimentary roadside assistance, service pickup, and drop-off. And a free car wash and quick wash every time you service at Greg Hubler Ford.
We're always finding new ways to put our guests first.
Mosey on into Muncie.
Greg Hubler Ford, promise kept.
Universal Roofing and Exteriors is a family-owned and operated business, providing care and honest service for over 30 years. Universal has always been a little bit different. Their certified and trained employees don't just provide excellent work at a fair low price. They care about their customers, simply providing great customer service. Quality, honesty, dependability. That's Universal Roofing and Exteriors. Call us today at 317-257-0779.
Hi, I'm Jason Warner.
And I'm Christy Calderon.
At Warner Financial, our vision is to redefine what it means to partner with a financial institution.
We bring together expertise and dedication with a relentless focus on your financial success.
Our drive is to create a strategy that aligns your unique goals by crafting tailored financial solutions to guide you through life's milestones.
Together, we'll navigate the complexities and turn financial challenges into opportunities.
Reach out today for a no-cost consultation and experience the difference of partnering with Warner Financial.
At the half, Frankton leads Monroe Central in a tight one, 22-21 on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com, driven by Greg Hubler Ford. Tough contest, a game of runs. It's Colin Eccles and Daniel Miller inside of the gymnasium at Frankton High School. Daniel, like I said, a game of runs. A game of missed opportunities on one side for Frankton so far. A big foul surge for Frankton as well has set the Golden Bears of Monroe Central up really well to start this second half. They only trail by one to the Eagles, 22-21 at halftime.
And Javon Miller, you mentioned the fouls. He's their leading scorer, the Eagles' leading scorer. He has 7 points, but he has 2 fouls, picking up 2 late ones there at the end of that first quarter. Their second leading scorer, Stansberry, he had 2 threes in that first half. He has 6 points.
We saw a big run, a 7-point run by Frankton with just over a minute and a half to go in that second quarter. Put them ahead by 8. And then Monroe Central, obviously, with a 7-point run of their own to get back within 1. When you look at kind of how this game has swung back and forth and how the scoring has come in clumps for both teams, and it hasn't really been a back and forth slugfest, if you will. When you look at that part of it, coming out in the second half, obviously some team is going to look to go on a big run to start the second half and kind of pull away with things and not look back. Who do you think, with the gameplay that we've seen so far, is really going to be the best candidate to do so?
I think coming out of this first half, it definitely could be Frankton because they will have all of their players back on the floor, even with 2 of them having 2 fouls in that first half. But I think as the game goes on, if this game goes as to how we've seen in the first half, if there's a game of runs and these runs continue, I think a later run from Monroe Central could be quite likely, especially if they could get some of those Frankton Eagles players back in some more foul trouble.
A big key for Monroe Central so far this evening has been Hayden Taylor, along with Easton Foster. Foster more so on the rebounds and headed to the free throw line in terms of his contribution so far, but Hayden Taylor has done a phenomenal job, a 3-for-3 trip at the line for him, multiple three-pointers sinking as well that has really lit a spark underneath a Golden Bears team who started out pretty slow in the first quarter. On the other side for Frankton, like you said, Javon Miller has been a big contribution off the bench. A 6-man who we saw also have a pretty good contribution relative to the situation earlier this week against the Raiders of Wapahani. Looking at that factor, who do you see both these teams kind of leaning on as the leader for their squads coming out in the third quarter? Because now you're kind of getting down to it, 22-21. Whoever comes out bigger at the start of this third quarter is typically the team that tends to run away and come out with the final win.
That is very true. I would look to Joey Wright. He's only had 1 point so far today for the Eagles, but he had that amazing no-look pass in transition earlier in this game. I would look for him to really get going from a points perspective. He averages 12.3 in the second half. And for Monroe Central, it's more Hayden Taylor. He's matched his number with 11 points here in this first half. He has over half of their points. Another interesting note to go along with that, 11 points from the free throw line for the Golden Bears. That's over half their total as well. They need to keep going to the free throw line if they want to win this game.
Frankton's offense kind of fell apart there at the end of the second quarter. A lot of rushing up the floor, not letting plays develop, quick turnovers, ill-advised shots, and the list kind of goes on. Compared to what we saw in the first half where they marched it up the floor, played the game at their pace, it's kind of that old classic reasoning that you go back to as a head coach where you need to play to your specific ball game and not to your opponents. Right now, would you say that Frankton has kind of folded down a little bit and started to play to Monroe Central's game, which is holding them back more so than anything else?
I would definitely say that, and I noted it even as the game was going on in that first quarter. I feel like Frankton, especially at the beginning of this game, was really taking their time, getting the shots they wanted, whereas Monroe Central was rushing on the floor trying to get those transition points. In the second quarter, it was a lot more to Monroe Central's pace. Frankton didn't slow it down as much on their end, and that could really be contributing to why Monroe Central is back in this game and just 1 point down.
We knew Monroe Central was going to be scrappy coming into the evening. We knew Frankton was going to be on a little bit of a tear coming off a big loss to Wapahani earlier this week as well. When you look at these two teams and the competitive energy that we have, you said Monroe Central a little flat in warm-ups, and I think that's been another reason too. They started out really slow in that first quarter, let Frankton get out to a pretty substantial lead, leading by as much as 9 in this one, and now only up by 1 at the half. The fire and the momentum obviously in the sails of Monroe Central so far. With 3 minutes left at halftime, it's a 22-21 lead for the Frankton Eagles over the Monroe Central Golden Bears. 2 more minutes, and we're back to finish out halftime and get you into the second half of action on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com.
The Mower Shop in Fishers is the one-stop shop for all of your lawn maintenance needs. We have a huge selection of Honda and Toro lawnmowers in stock and even more to choose from online. Plus, we carry parts and accessories with super fast shipping. Just need maintenance or repairs? We offer that too, and we'll even deliver. The Mower Shop, family owned for more than 20 years. Visit our showroom just west of State Road 37 in Fishers or shop online at themowershop.com.
Thank you.
All stocked up for another year?
Ho, ho, yes. I'm also hoping for some advice.
Anything for you, Santa.
Any ideas for those who made it on my new extra nice list this year?
How about up to $5,000 Christmas cash with a qualifying heating and cooling system?
Or 0% interest for 36 months?
Both amazing values. Visit petermanhvac.com to claim your Christmas cash.
Looking for training that makes a difference? Then Genesis Sports Performance is for you. Whether you're a grade school, high school, or college athlete, or just looking to get back into shape, Genesis has customized programs providing rapid gains in strength and conditioning, speed and agility. Genesis features a 7,000 square foot facility with state-of-the-art weight room and huge turf surface. Call Genesis at 386-7459 or visit them at genesissportsperformance.com. Universal Roofing and Exteriors is a family-owned and operated business, providing care and honest service for over 30 years. Universal has always been a little bit different. Their certified and trained employees don't just provide excellent work at a fair low price. They care about their customers, simply providing great customer service. Quality, honesty, dependability. That's Universal Roofing and Exteriors. Call us today at 317-257-0779.
Back inside the gymnasium at Frankton High School. It's IndianaHighSchoolSports.com. Colin Eccles and Daniel Miller joining you courtside. It is 22-21 in favor of the Frankton Eagles. We got less than 30 seconds on the clock before we start this third quarter. Daniel, you and I were talking a little bit during that break at that JV matches can be very indicative of how a varsity match can go. Obviously, the team's running the same system at the JV level that they are at the varsity level to ensure that their younger players know the system well when they reach the varsity level. That game went into overtime. It was a close battle. Overtime, obviously, Frankton comes out with a win, stretches the lead a little bit. Do you think that's indicative of how this varsity match could end up with as close as it is and the runs that we're seeing and the competitiveness as well?
I definitely think that that's a possibility. I mean, this is a one-point game. It's close once again, and the JV matchups, they tend to play an impact. The players see it, the fans see it, and it impacts the atmosphere for sure. It's in the players' minds having that little bit of a late start because of the JV game.
The camaraderie also stretches beyond varsity, JV, and varsity teams. A lot of camaraderie, a lot of brotherhood amongst those squads as well. So we'll get you into the third quarter action. 22-21 is the lead for Frankton. The Golden Bears start out with the ball in the third. Top of the key, it's Foster. Trying to drive past Nunley, nowhere to go, goes back to the top to Taylor. Over the right side wing, Foster. Driving right baseline, spins on Nunley, nowhere to go. Out to Cleveland on the right side. Cleveland steps inside the arc, coming around the corner, and takes the lead for Monroe Central, 23-22.
That's their first lead in a very long time here. That's a big first start to the second half.
Top of the key, it's Stansbury for Frankton. Backs out towards the logo, finds Wright on the right wing. Wright takes a step inside. His shot well off the mark. He's had a few of those tonight that haven't been within the same county as the rim.
He looked a little off balance there. He's had a tough time. He had that big assist in the first half, but he's really going to need to get going here.
Ullum at the top for Monroe Central, goes to the right side wing again to Foster. Foster back to the top. Cleveland, three on the way, wide left. Loose ball batted back out to Ullum on the left side. Ullum, floater from just outside the lane, scores two more for Monroe Central. 4 points to none out of the third quarter. And the ball out of play. Last touch by the Golden Bears. Big 4-0 run to start the second half for Monroe Central. Puts them ahead for the first time in this contest over Frankton.
And a couple of badly missed shots on both ends to start the second half, too.
Off the inbound, Nunley going up from the left side. Count the bucket and one for Bubba Nunley. 25-24. The Eagles back within one after Nunley draws the foul and scores on Carter Duncan, his first of the quarter for the Golden Bears. And Nunley will complete the three-point play and tie things up at 25 with 6.5 minutes left in the third. Here comes some full-court press from Frankton. Broken easily by Ullum. He gets it across half court, and we got a timeout called by Coach Moulton for the Golden Bears. 30 seconds. We'll take a quick break of our own and back for more after this on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com, driven by Greg Hubler Ford.
Every day is a great day to buy a vehicle at Greg Hubler Ford.
Because every vehicle comes with our Greg Hubler promise. On top of scheduled maintenance with your vehicle, you'll also enjoy complimentary roadside assistance, service pickup, and drop-off. And a free car wash and quick wash every time you service at Greg Hubler Ford.
We're always finding new ways to put our guests first.
Mosey on into Muncie.
Greg Hubler Ford, promise kept.
We join you back at Frankton High School on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com for this match with the Frankton Eagles and the Monroe Central Golden Bears. We're all tied up at 25 after the three-point play is completed by Bubba Nunley for the Eagles. Fights through contact, scores the bucket, and knocks down his shot at the line. Big run, though, to start the third quarter for Monroe Central. 4 points out of the gate. And they have, intensified the amount of momentum that they've had, that they went into halftime with and now have come out in the third quarter.
And they came out really strong, as you mentioned, that 4-2 run, or 4-3 run rather, but coming out of the half, taking that first lead of the game, that's been huge. They need to keep it up as this game is tied up here early in the third.
Golden Bears with possession. Taylor will start out on the offensive front. Going to his right side, goes back up top, Foster. Foster with the lane, finds Ullum. Left wing, three on the way, knocks it down. 28-25. Monroe Central back in front by a full possession.
And Ullum's got 5 points here to start this second half.
Top of the key, it's Stansbury for the Eagles, over to the right side to Wright. Skip pass down to Nunley, right baseline, goes to the right elbow to Carmack. Carmack looking to go to work, tries the turnaround floater, no good. Kick out left wing, three. That one goes through for Nate Moore. We're all tied up again at 28. 5.5 minutes left in the third. And the ball is out of play. It's going to be last touch by Frankton. The Golden Bears keep possession. And the Eagles bench and players on the floor arguing that nobody touched that one.
The game runs in the first half, but so far it's been neck and neck in this third quarter.
And a steal for Nunley off the save from Carter Duncan. Wright bringing it up the floor. Left wing, Stansbury, three on the way, and it's back-to-back. Raining threes inside of Frankton High School, 31-28. The lead is back to the Frankton Eagles.
Lord Stansbury bringing some pressure, putting it on Monroe.
Stansbury trying to find Carmack ahead. Loses it. Foster on the other end of the floor scores two. 31-30. Lead cut down for Frankton.
Coming off that pair of threes, I think Frank just got a little bit too quick there with that turnover.
Stansbury at the top for the Eagles. Shaded to his right side. Finds Joey Wright on the right wing. Wright driving inside, looks for the floater, loses his handle, but it's picked up by Stansbury and scored from the left side. 33-30. 3-point lead now for the Eagles. 4.5 minutes left on the game clock. And a steal on the other end. Nate Moore tries to push it too quickly up the floor for Joey Wright. It's out of play. There's another turnover for the Eagles. They could have extended this lead even more with that fast break opportunity.
We talked about Frankton maybe trying to slow the pressure down or slow the pace down a little bit in the second half. They turned out all right so far, but they've had a couple turnovers in the process, even though they do still have that 3-point lead.
Foster finds Olam across half court, and Olam is fouled hard on the right side. He had Stansbury and Moore in the air with the pump fake. They both landed right on top of him. He's going to have to earn his shots at the free throw line. They're going to credit the foul against Ethan Stansbury, his first and the team's first in the third quarter.
It was a beautiful pump fake, really got him up in the air, but he sure paid the price for it coming back down on the floor.
Olam's first shot at the line, no good. Rattled on every inch of that rim before it came out.
And Olam started out strong here for the Bears. He's had 5 so far in the second half. There he gets a 6th.
Makes it 33-31. Still a one-possession lead for Frankton. Stansbury will start out on the right side for the Eagles. Back up top to Nunley. Left side wing Moore. Back up top again to Stansbury. We are halfway through the third quarter. It's a 33-31 lead for the Frankton Eagles over the Monroe Central Golden Bears. Right side wing Carmack pump fakes the three, goes inside and double clutches for the score. 35-31. 4-point lead now for Frankton.
Thought about passing it up. Normally that means that you're not going to get that good of a look, but he got it up and in there.
Frankton's defense playing hard to get. And looks like Brady Carmack will pick up a foul as he was all over Josiah Cleveland fighting for a pass. That'll be the first on Carmack and the second on the Eagles. Foster on the drive is fouled on the floor, so there's another foul against Frankton. And looks like the previous foul against Brady Carmack did not go on the board. The credit is a jump ball that stays with Monroe Central. Instead, Bubba Nunley will pick up his third foul, the second against Frankton in the quarter. In for him, Javon Miller.
I mentioned the fouls is something to watch there, him getting his third foul, and Miller back on the floor with 2 fouls of his own.
First shot no good. Second chance opportunity on the way for the Golden Bears. Olam on the right side wing, nowhere to go on the look, goes back to the top of the key to Cleveland. Over to the left side wing, Taylor. Back up top to Foster. Foster driving right side. Count the bucket and one for Easton Foster. 35-33. Fights through contact and scores off the window, and the foul is against Javon Miller. That is his third and the third on the Eagles in the quarter.
It looked like Miller was trying to take a charge there. Official deemed that he was still moving, and that counts as a block.
Foster with one shot at the line to try and cut this down to a 1-point game. He will miss his shot. Now Joey Wright will bring it up the floor for the Eagles. Over the left side wing, Stansbury, 3 on the way. That one's short in between the window and the rim. Foster pulls down a board. We'll bring it up the other way for Monroe Central. Foster off the drive, goes left side wing, Ullum. Back to the top of the key to Cleveland. Right side wing, Taylor. Back up top, Ullum off the screen. Ullum drives with the right, falls to the floor, and there will be another foul called against Frankton. That's the team's 4th in the quarter. And the foul goes against Nate Moore. That'll be his first. And into the game for Monroe Central, Luke Russell. Off the inbound from the right side, scoring 2 is Josiah Cleveland. We're all tied up at 35 again with 2.5 minutes on the other end. Matching, Brady Carmack gets the lead right back for the Eagles. Now starting to go into kind of a punch-for-punch format. There's a turnover on the miscommunication from the Golden Bears offense. 2:18 left in the third. 37-35 is the score. Frankton in front.
Starting to go back and forth here, as you mentioned, but every time Monroe Central seems to have a basket or try to get some momentum going, Frankton has an answer. Let's see if they have another one and can extend it off the turnover.
Top of the key, it's Carmack. Drives right side, up and over the top. No good. Second chance effort is no good as well by Javon Miller. Cleveland rushes up the floor. Left corner to Taylor, keeps it in bounds, picks up his dribble, and goes back to the top to Cleveland. Under 2 minutes to go in the third. Cleveland back to the left corner. Taylor, 3 on the way, no good. Carmack comes up with the board, and we'll bring it up the floor for Frankton. Nate Moore across half court. Stansbury, right wing 3, buries it. 40-35, the lead back to 5 for the Eagles with 1:30 before we head to the fourth quarter. On the right side, too strong off the window was Carter Duncan. Bats the ball out of bounds, and it's Frankton possession. Easton Foster back in to take Carter Duncan's spot. 2-possession lead for the Eagles over the Golden Bears.
On that last possession where Stansbury hit a big 3, that was really freed up by Nate Moore's drive into the paint. A little drive and kick action for the Eagles. You love to see it.
Joey Wright driving right side, falls to the floor, nearly scores it. A little bit too much momentum on that shot. He'll go to the line to shoot 2. Josiah Cleveland charged with the foul. His second, and the second on the team for Monroe Central. 1:14 left in this third, and Frankton's got a little fire back to their offense.
They do. That shot just trimmed out from Joey Wright, or else he could add another and one opportunity. He really needs to get going. In the second half, he's only got 1 so far. He's their second leading scorer with 12.3 a game.
Max Barr and Sam Barr at the scorer's table, getting ready to check in for Frankton. Joey Wright will have 2 shots at the line, getting a little bit of a slick spot dried up on the floor. Here comes Joey Wright for his first shot.
Little unintentional icing on the home court. Don't normally see that.
And the icing will work. Wright misses his first. Here come the Barr brothers. Max Barr, number 10. Number 12 is Sam Barr. They'll take the place of Javon Miller and Brady Carmack.
Miller sits with those 3 fouls. Could become an impact here later in this game.
It's an 0 for 2 trip for Joey Wright. Uncharacteristic of him, and Cleveland will get it across the court for Monroe Central. Tries a well off-balance floater. Shot is no good. Other way, Joey Wright scores it off the window through a lot of contact. 42-35. Under 1 minute to go here in the third.
That's just what the doctor ordered for Wright. Coming off that 0 for performance from the line, getting that 2 to go.
And a foul on the other end is going to send Easton Foster to the line for 2. Foul goes against Ethan Stansbury. His third and the 5th on the team for Frankton. Luckily, just 45 seconds left in this third quarter before that bonus resets. Foster's first shot on the way is good at the stripe. Goes back to a 6-point deficit. Miller and Carmack in to take Max Barr and Sam Barr out of the contest for Frankton.
So now Frankton's 3 leading scorers on the game all have 3 fouls. Later in the third quarter shouldn't be much of an impact, but a couple quick ones. Frankton could be struggling to find some points.
2-for-2 trip for Foster. Cuts the lead to 5 for Frankton. Top of the key, it's Miller. Over to the left side wing to Nate Moore. Back up top to Stansberry. Over to right. Now over to the right side wing to Carmack. Back right baseline to Stansberry. The tip pass is back out to the top to Moore. Moore goes cross court to Carmack on the right corner. And Carmack will go to the right wing to Miller. Miller back to the right corner to Moore. Moore drives baseline. Ball out of play. Possession arrow stays with Frankton.
Couple cross-court passes there from the Eagles. Both were nearly stolen. Gotta wonder if Coach Brobston will make an impact of that on the next timeout.
Joey Wright takes the ball out of play, finds Javon Miller left side. He can't score it through some contact. Foster comes down with a board. 10 seconds on the third quarter game clock. Down by 5. Foster looking to go to work. Gets his screen. Back to the top to Taylor. Pulls at the buzzer, and it is going to be no good. He shot it just late. 42-37 headed into the fourth quarter. We'll take a 1-minute break and be back for more right after this on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com, driven by Greg Hubler Ford.
Universal Roofing and Exteriors is a family-owned and operated business, providing care and honest service for over 30 years. Universal has always been a little bit different. Their certified and trained employees don't just provide excellent work at a fair low price. They care about their customers, simply providing great customer service. Quality, honesty, dependability. That's Universal Roofing and Exteriors. Call us today at 317-257-0779. Looking for training that makes a difference? Then Genesis Sports Performance is for you. Whether you're a grade school, high school, or college athlete, or just looking to get back into shape, Genesis has customized programs providing rapid gains in strength and conditioning, speed and agility. Genesis features a 7,000 square foot facility with state-of-the-art weight room and huge turf surface. Call Genesis at 386-7459. or visit them at GenesisSportsPerformance.com.
It's the final quarter of regulation of Frankton High School as the Frankton Eagles lead the Monroe Central Golden Bears 42-37 on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com. Colin Eccles, Daniel Miller inside the Eagles' nest. Fitting name for the gym here at Frankton High School. Big slugfest headed into the fourth quarter, and the Eagles have possession to start the final 8 minutes of regulation.
The Bears playing a little bit different tempo. In the first half, they had 11 of their 21 points off free throws. So far, they've been able to make some field goals in the second half. In that third quarter, just three free throws made out of the 16 points.
Great look from Javon Miller to find Carmack on the right block, who scores. 44-37, lead extended for Frankton. Over on the right side, to start things out, it's Brylan Case for the Golden Bears. He'll move back to the top of the arc. Shade to the right side, hands the ball off to Taylor. Right side again for Case. Now skip past the left side to Ullum. Left corner, Taylor off rotation. Finds Foster, left block. Foster through traffic, can't score. Wright comes down with a board. Outlet pass ahead to Moore. Right corner, Stansberry, 3, nails it. Double-digit lead for the Frankton Eagles. 1 minute into the fourth quarter, it's 47-37. Frankton on a huge run.
Stansberry's with 17 now on the game.
Foster can't score it off the right-handed drive. Wright comes down with the board, finds Javon Miller, and Miller scores from the left side. 49-37, 5 quick points to start the fourth for the Frankton Eagles. And we've got a timeout called on the floor by head coach Jim Melton. Full 1 minute timeout. We'll take a 1 minute timeout of our own to hear from a couple of our sponsors. 49-37 after the big run from the Frankton Eagles. They lead on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com.
Hi, I'm Jason Warner of Warner Financial. When it comes to your 401k, you deserve a partner who values your retirement dreams as much as you do. We believe that your 401k is more than just an account. It's a strategy tailored to fit your unique circumstances. Our approach isn't just about numbers. It's about understanding you. Whether you're just starting your career or counting down the days until approaching retirement, we're here to ensure your 401k aligns perfectly with your future. Ready to make your 401k work for you? Contact us today for a personalized consultation.
Oh, thank you.
All stocked up for another year?
Ho, ho, yes. I'm also hoping for some advice.
Anything for you, Santa.
Any ideas for those who made it on my new extra nice list this year?
How about up to $5,000 Christmas cash with a qualifying heating and cooling system?
Or 0% interest for 36 months?
Both amazing values. Visit petermanhvac.com to claim your Christmas cash.
Coming at you from inside the Eagles' nest at Frankton High School. It's IndianaHighSchoolSports.com, driven by Greg Hubler Ford, Colin Eccles, Daniel Miller on the call. 49-37 is your score. The Frankton Eagles lead the Monroe Central Golden Bears. Get you straight down into the action. Case at the top of the key will hand things off to Ullum to run point for the Golden Bears.
Big run for the Eagles to start this fourth quarter. Really feel like the momentum is shifting their way. That might be the final run that someone can really pull away from.
Case on the right side wing. Finds Foster cutting the basket on the right side. Nice dish over to Ullum, left block, and Ullum can't score on lucky rolls. Second chance opportunity will result in a foul, and 2 free throws coming up for Carter Duncan. And the foul is on Javon Miller. His first of the fourth quarter for Frankton. Bubba Nunley ready to check in to take his place.
And it could become an impact. I mentioned it later in that third quarter. Now, their top 3 scores with 4 fouls, 3 fouls, and 3 fouls. 4 for Miller, 3 for Stansberry, 3 for Nunley coming back into the game.
First shot no good at the line for Duncan. He's got one more coming up. 2 minutes expired in the fourth quarter. It's a 12-point lead for the Eagles, 49-37.
And the Eagles may be able to overcome a player going out or losing some scoring with this now 11-point lead they got.
Duncan 1 for 2 at the stripe. Under 6 minutes to go in regulation. Wright will bring it up the floor. He finds Carmick at the top of the key to run point. Shading to his right side. Carmick stops, tries to hop over the top of Foster. And Foster takes a tumble but is able to get back up under his own power. Ball out of play. It'll be Frankton basketball. Josiah Cleveland comes in to take Brylan Case out of the game for Monroe Central. Off the inbound, it's Stansberry on the left wing. Stansberry will move back up top. Hand the ball off to Moore. Right side wing, Carmick. Carmick up top for Nunley. A little bit of clock chewing going on for the Eagles as they are running kind of a 3-man weave around the outside of the arc. Back to the logo. It's Stansberry over the right wing to Carmick. Back up top, Stansberry. 3 on the way. That one's short. And Duncan comes down with a board. He'll hand it off to Foster to work up the floor. Ullum on the left wing. Up top for Cleveland. Cleveland tries a right-handed drive. Nowhere to go. Backs out to the logo. 5 minutes to go in the fourth. Left side wing again, it's Ullum. Down by 11. Finds Taylor left baseline. Finds Foster. Backdoor cut. Foster fouled on the drive by Bubba Nunley, and that is Nunley's fourth.
That is not what you want to see as an Eagles fan. Giving Monroe Central the chance to get points from the line while down 11 with just 5 to go, and getting another foul for one of your leading scorers.
At the line, shooting to Easton Foster. First shot for Foster is good after a little lucky bounce. Cuts the deficit to 10 for the Golden Bears. 5 minutes exactly on the clock. Plenty of game time left in a game that has been a lot of runs for both teams in terms of scoring. Second shot. No good for Foster, but Ullum pulls down an offensive board. In the left corner, Ullum bounces it off the foot of Wright. Ball's out of play and will stay with the Golden Bears. Cleveland back in to take the place of Case for Monroe Central.
And Coach Brobson for the Eagles electing to keep Nunley in the bowl game with 4 fouls here late in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, Javon Miller's been a big part of the scoring for Frankton. You want to keep him down for as long as you can to ensure that if you need him late in the fourth, you still have him. Off the inbound, it's Cleveland on the left wing. Tries a drive, nowhere to go. Back up top to Taylor. Over the left side wing, Foster. Foster, back up top, Cleveland. Little running jumper inside, it's no good, and Nunley pulls down a board. Foul against Cleveland, and now Brylan Case will come in to take his spot again for Monroe Central.
Cleveland can't believe the call. Tough one for the Eagles, for the Bears rather.
Third foul going against Cleveland, first in the quarter for Monroe Central. 4:40 left on the clock. Frankton will take a full 1 minute timeout as they lead by 10, 49-39 over the Golden Bears of Monroe Central. 4:40 left on the game clock, 30 seconds, and we are back right after this on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com, driven by Greg Hubler Ford.
Looking for training that makes a difference? Then Genesis Sports Performance is for you. Whether you're a grade school, high school, or college athlete, or just looking to get back into shape, Genesis has customized programs providing rapid gains in strength and conditioning, speed and agility. Genesis features a 7,000 square foot facility with state-of-the-art weight room and huge turf surface. Call Genesis at 386-7459 or visit them at genesissportsperformance.com.
Back inside Frankton High School in the Eagles' Nest on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com. Colin Eccles and Daniel Miller joining you from up top. It is a 49-39 contest. Frankton leads Monroe Central with 4 minutes and 40 seconds left on the game clock. A game that has kind of been all over the place, Daniel. It's been a game of runs and scoring. It's been a slugfest early in the third quarter, going back and forth. And now Frankton with a commanding 10-point lead almost halfway through the fourth quarter, and a lot of momentum on their side. Monroe Central, if they want to get back into this one, really needs to get something started.
Like you said, Frankton with a lot of momentum in this one, but Monroe Central scored most recently, and they'll need another one of those runs in this game of runs if they want to get back in this one down 10.
Stansbury and Wright playing catch at the logo. Wright will end up with it and start to make a move on the offensive trip. Driving to the left side, and Foster will pick up a foul. That's the second against the Golden Bears in the quarter. Second against Foster. Carmick taking the ball out of play, goes into the backcourt, finds Joey Wright. Ullum into the backcourt as well to provide a little pressure from Monroe Central. It's across the floor to Stansbury. Now back up top to Nunley, and a three-man weave going on. Ball ends up with Stansbury on the left side. Back up top to Carmick. Drives with the right. Picks up his momentum. Skip pass. Out to Stansbury at the top, and it's clock chewing time for the Frankton Eagles. Carmick in the right corner. Moving back towards the top, finds Nunley. Nunley, nowhere to go. Goes right on the left side wing. Right, moving back towards the logo. Over halfway through the fourth quarter, still a 10-point lead for the Eagles, 49-39. Back up top, Carmick. Driving left side. Stuck in the post. Back up top to Nunley. Nunley hands the ball off to Stansbury. A lot of time being chewed off, over a minute chewed off the clock already. And working on the right side is Carmick. He goes back up top to Nunley. Nice dish to Moore on the left side. And Nate Moore will score two for Frankton. 51-39. It's now an 11-point lead.
A beautiful play to get Nate Moore involved after chewing all that clock and still getting a bucket to go in. Monroe Central and Coach Melton can't be happy.
Less than 3 minutes on the clock. Top of the key, it's Case. Left side wing, Foster. Driving with the left. Fights through several defenders and still scores it. Lead is back to 10. 51-41. And we got a foul on the floor going against Frankton. This one goes against Joey Wright. That'll be his first and the third on Frankton in the quarter. Josiah Cleveland back in for Brylan Case for Monroe Central. So the five on the floor for the Eagles is Nunley, Wright, Carmick, Stansbury, and Moore. For the Golden Bears, it's Cleveland, Taylor, Foster, Duncan, and Ullum. Bring the ball across half court, and starting the possession is Nunley. Playing the ball off to Carmick, and it's a skip pass to the left side wing to Stansberry. Back up top to Nunley. 2:20 left on the fourth quarter clock. He hands the ball off to Moore. Moore finds Nunley. Right block, scores 2. 12-point lead for the Eagles. 2 minutes, 10 seconds left on the fourth quarter game clock. Olam working left side. Off the drive, finds Foster. Foster tries a baseline drive, kicks out Olam, left wing 3, and he buries it. 53-44. And we've got another full 1 minute timeout taken by head coach Jim Melton. Less than 2 minutes to go. We'll go ahead and keep it here, kind of down to the crucial part in the ball game for Monroe Central. If they want to get back into it, it is 53-44, a 9-point deficit for the Golden Bears. Still enough time to make something happen, but they've got to start shutting down those wide open paint looks for Frankton on the other end of the floor.
They do, and if Olam hadn't made that there, it might have been as good as done, but Olam giving them new life here with that 3 there, down just 9 now, but it is very true. They need to step up on the defensive end, stop Frankton from having those long possessions, and stop them from scoring, because recently they've gotten both on several straight possessions, getting some points and milking the clock.
I tell you what, in terms of how competitive this game has been, I would say probably one of the more competitive boys games that we've seen so far this year. Obviously, pretty streaky for both teams, I would say, overall in terms of scoring. 7-point run here, 6-point run here, 5-point run here. But right now, it's kind of a dogfight down low for these two squads. Frankton doing a big job on the boards on their offensive side, scoring on some easy buckets. Monroe Central shooting pretty well from far and just really struggling on the defensive side to hold up Frankton and get themselves back into the contest.
They have been, and it's been a game of runs, as we've mentioned several times, but most recently, Monroe Central can't stop Frankton from scoring. They've been able to score a couple times, but on the defensive side, they have not been able to step it up. But some pressure here as they need it, down 9.
Frankton has the possession arrow, and Stansberry is fouled quickly off the inbound by Duncan. That'll be the 4th against Monroe Central, 2nd against Duncan. A minute 55 on the game clock. 53-44 is the lead for Frankton. Joey Wright has the ball, and he's fouled again by Josiah Cleveland, so that puts Frankton in the bonus for the remainder of the night. 2 quick fouls against the Golden Bears. Olam ready to check back in for Monroe Central.
Wright is 1 for 4 from the line tonight. That's not generally who you want to foul, but tonight he has not been able to hit.
The first shot at the line is good for Joey Wright. Olam comes in, takes a spot of Brylan Case. Second shot on the way for Wright. And he has a 2-for-2 trip, 55-44. Taylor across half court from Monroe Central, goes up top to Foster. To the right corner to Olam. Back up top, Foster. Here. Olam on the right side, up top, Foster. Cleveland, left wing, 3 on the way. Off the mark, loose ball, corralled by Frankton, and taken back by the Golden Bears. Foster, top of the key. Straight ahead, 3 is wide left, and brought down by Nate Moore. 2 big missed opportunities there for the Golden Bears. Big steal, though, on the defensive side. Taylor with a short jumper will miss the first chance. Second chance by Josiah Cleveland will pay off. He's fouled on the shot, and will go to the stripe for 2.
So many opportunities for the Bears. They missed 3 shots in a row before getting that one to be fouled and go to the line, but somehow getting an opportunity.
5th foul against Bubba Nunley, so his evening is finished. Javon Miller will come in to take his spot. 55-44, it's an 11-point lead for Frankton. A minute 17 left in the 4th. Here's the first shot at the line for Josiah Cleveland. No good. We do have a sub at the table. It's Bryson Case, who I think is coming in for Cleveland. Cleveland makes his second shot, cuts the lead back down to 10. Brylan Case will come in for Cleveland. So a lot of substitutions being made by Monroe Central just to keep fresh legs on the floor and keep anybody in foul trouble out of harm's way. Case will come back out. Cleveland will go back in. Foul credit on that play to Hayden Taylor, his first. And it's going to be Brady Carmack at the line shooting 2 for the Eagles.
He has yet to attempt a free throw today, one of the few Eagles not to.
Carmack set up for his first shot at the line. And he will lace that through, 56-45. Lead is back to 11. Cleveland into the game for the Golden Bears. Max Barr and Colton Amell in for Frankton. And looks like also Reed Bott coming in. The 5 on the floor for Frankton is Wright, Bott, Max Barr, Amell, and Carmack, who is going to go 1 for 2 at the line and keep it an 11-point lead. Foster running up the floor, finds Cleveland right wing. Cleveland's running shot is good, 56-47. And we have whistles blowing on the floor. It's a foul against the Golden Bears. It goes against Hayden Taylor, his second. And again, it's going to send Wright to the stripe to shoot free throws with 1:04 left in the fourth quarter.
Wright has the opportunity to really salt this one away, send the Eagles off with a victory with a couple mix here.
First shot for Wright is no good. He's been struggling at the stripe tonight. And here come the starting 3 back to the scorer's table for Frankton. Javon Miller, Nate Moore, and Ethan Stansberry.
If Frankton was able to come away with a victory tonight, it would continue a trend over the past 6 games. They've lost one, and now they might be able to get a win here. Looking like they will, up 10 with a minute left.
57-47. Foster, straight ahead 3 is no good. Taylor comes down with a board, and there's another foul against Frankton. Fouls continue to pile up. This one's going to go against Nate Moore. That is going to be his second, 4th on the Eagles in the quarter. We got less than a minute to go on the clock, 10-point deficit for Monroe Central. Taylor shoots his first and makes it. Back to single-digit leads for Frankton. One more shot coming at the line for Taylor.
That might be the only thing Coach Brobson didn't want was a foul.
Javon Miller pulls down a board off the missed free throw, and there's another foul against Foster. Easton Foster is a little confused on the call. Doesn't think he made much contact with Wright, but he sends Joey Wright back to the line, who, if the trend continues tonight, is probably who you want at the line shooting the free throws if you are Monroe Central. Hasn't had a lot of success so far. As he makes his first, brings it back to a double-digit lead for the Eagles with 50.2 left on the clock. Big substitutions: Sam Barr, Colton Amell, and Reed Bott come in for Frankton. They'll sit down Javon Miller, Stansberry, and Moore. 2-for-2 trip for Joey Wright makes it 59-48. Three-pointer from the left side is good to cut it down to an 8-point deficit. With 41.6 on the clock, we got another foul. And this time, Middleton Carmack to the line to shoot 2.
Monroe Central not giving up easy on this one. Cleveland with a huge 3 to keep them alive, but still down 8 with 41 seconds to play.
Crazier things have happened in the game of basketball. Hayden Taylor charged with his 3rd foul. Carmack at the line shooting 2 for Frankton. First shot, up and good. 60-51. Still one shot to come for Carmack. Second shot at the stripe is on the way, and short off the front iron. Duncan pulls down the board and hands off to Foster. On the right side, Foster skip past the left corner. Ullum, 3. It's good. 60-54. 30 seconds left. And a timeout called by Coach Brobson. It's a 30-second timeout. or full 1 minute timeout, but again, we'll keep it here. The lead is now down to 6, 60-54 after a big three from Justice Ullum.
Between Ullum and Cleveland in the past two possessions, both getting threes for the Golden Bears, really keeping them alive in this game. And somehow, some way, they might have a shot here. With 28 seconds left, it's a two-possession game.
Like I said, crazier things have happened in the game of basketball. Coach Melton drawing up his defensive and offensive strategies. And so far, the defensive strategy for Monroe Central has been to foul quickly, force some free throws, which Frankton has not done a good job at shooting tonight. Come down on the other end, quick score, and repeat. So a rinse and repeat cycle right now for the Golden Bears. So far has cut the deficit down from as much as 12 all the way down to 6, and there's still 28.8 seconds on the clock. So you got enough time to work with, and now you're running a full court press against Frankton. Javon Miller takes it out for the Eagles. Looking over the options, find Joey Wright. Wright working up the floor, will be fouled. We'll head to the line to shoot some free throws. I think this one's going to go against Brylan Case. It will.
And at this point of the game, I feel the need to bring back up, once again, that fact that this JV game went into overtime. You wonder if it could happen. Still 6-point game, but crazier things, as you said, have happened in the game of basketball.
Joey Wright at the line to shoot two. Will make his first. As has been the trend, it's now a 7-point deficit. Cleveland back in for Brylan Case. Second shot is what has not gone well consistently for Joey Wright. This time he's 2 for 2. And that could be the two biggest free throws of the night. Cleveland on the other end pulls a three. It's no good. Nate Moore pulls down the board, and Foster will pick up another foul. 19.7 on the game clock, and I think those two free throws were enough to seal the deal for Frankton and give them just enough cushion to be able to come out with a win. With this win, Frankton bounces back from the loss earlier this week to Wapahani and will head into the Madison County tournament 6-3. Monroe Central on the other end, their 2-game win streak will come to a close, and they will head into a Christmas tournament at Morristown 4-5. 2 for 2 trip at the line for Moore will make it 64-54. It's a 10-point lead for the Eagles. A lot of substitutions. Sam Barr and Colton Amell in. On the floor with them is Stansberry, Moore, and Bott. From Monroe Central, it's Taylor, Duncan, Foster, Cleveland, and Ullum. Long three for Foster, no good, out of play. 13.6 seconds on the clock. That should just about do it. Max Barr now into the contest. Takes the place of Ethan Stansberry. And Noah Melvin will also come in to take the place of Nate Moore. 13.6 seconds. Monroe Central backs off the defense. 64-54. 10-point lead for Frankton. Bott gets it across half court, and that will do it. Monroe Central's 2-game win streak comes to a close. They'll fall to 4-5. Frankton bounces back, headed into the Madison County tournament with a win, 6-3. 2 minutes. We're going to get you back for some post-game recap, final scores, and a final word on what's coming up for us on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com. Quick break, and we're back for more after this.
Oh, thank you.
All stocked up for another year?
Ho, ho, yes. I'm also hoping for some advice.
Anything for you, Santa.
Any ideas for those who made it on my new extra nice list this year?
How about up to $5,000 Christmas cash with a qualifying heating and cooling system?
Or 0% interest for 36 months?
Both amazing values. Visit PetermanHVAC.com to claim your Christmas cash.
Universal Roofing and Exteriors is a family-owned and operated business, providing care and honest service for over 30 years. Universal has always been a little bit different. Their certified and trained employees don't just provide excellent work at a fair low price. They care about their customers, simply providing great customer service. Quality, honesty, dependability. That's Universal Roofing and Exteriors. Call us today at 317-257-0779.
Hi, I'm Jason Warner of Warner Financial. When it comes to your 401k, you deserve a partner who values your retirement dreams as much as you do. We believe that your 401k is more than just an account. It's a strategy tailored to fit your unique circumstances. Our approach isn't just about numbers. It's about understanding you. Whether you're just starting your career or counting down the days until approaching retirement, we're here to ensure your 401k aligns perfectly with your future. Ready to make your 401k work for you? Contact us today for a personalized consultation.
Every day is a great day to buy a vehicle at Greg Hubler Ford.
Because every vehicle comes with our Greg Hubler promise. On top of scheduled maintenance with your vehicle, you'll also enjoy complimentary roadside assistance, service pickup, and drop-off. And a free car wash and quick wash every time you service at Greg Hubler Ford.
We're always finding new ways to put our guests first.
Mosey on into Muncie.
Greg Hubler Ford, promise kept.
Back inside Frankton High School on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com, the final score, Frankton 64, Monroe Central 54. It's broadcast driven by Greg Hubler Ford, Colin Eccles, and Daniel Miller joining you from the Eagles Nest. Daniel, heck of a ball game tonight for Frankton. Big bounce back after the loss earlier in the week. Monroe Central obviously on the losing end tonight. Their 2-game win streak comes to an end. They fall to 4-5. Frankton, on the other hand, improving to 6-3, and it's right before county tournament time for them.
It is, and Stansbury led the team. He had 17 tonight. He had 5 threes, and we had 6 players for the Eagles with 8+ points. It was really a combined effort along with Stansbury tonight for the Eagles.
Doesn't get much better than that in terms of overall team performance. For Monroe Central, though, for a while it looked like the wind was completely in their sails and looked like they had all the momentum. That's the crazy thing about high school basketball in the state of Indiana. The momentum can flip on a dime, right? And it all goes back to Frankton. Frankton obviously keeps that momentum, comes out on top. For Monroe Central, though, what do you kind of take away from this game to use as you move into some of your Christmas time tournaments? Now that you're back below 500, you want to pick up some more wins.
We mentioned it in the open. They got a long road stretch ahead of them. They started 2-0, but now taking their first loss of that road stretch, so they've got to rebound to get ready, a tie for tourney play after this one with some big road games coming up, namely Morristown on the 28th, their next game in the schedule.
If we're going to give a player of the game to the winning team, Frankton, I think you and I are both going to agree on who it is. I think Ethan Stansbury stands out big time for the Eagles. But another one that I want to give an honorable mention to, Javon Miller, coming off the bench and playing a big role for the Eagles, especially in that first half.
He did. He had 7 in the first half. He was their first half leader, almost matching his points per game average in that first half. His points per game average, 7.3. He ended up with 9 tonight. He was their leading scorer off the bench and did that just the same tonight.
Frankton improves to 6-3 on the year, 4-2 at home as they head into the Madison County Tournament starting on January 2nd. Monroe Central obviously falling to 4-5. They're now 3-3 on the road. Their next game will be on the 28th at Morristown for a little bit of a Christmas tournament. We want to thank all of you for tuning in to another broadcast of Indiana High School basketball on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com. Of course, this broadcast driven by Greg Hubler Ford. Your starting lineups powered by Warner Financial. We hope you all have a safe and Merry Christmas. We'll be back next week for the December 28th Christmas tournament at Alexandria High School. More on that coming up on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com.
Tonight's ballgame on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com has been driven by Greg Hubler Ford and built by Universal Roofing and brought to you by Peterman Brothers Heating and Air Conditioning, by Warner Financial, Genesis Sports Performance, and by the Mower Shop. This has been a presentation of IndianaHighSchoolSports.com.